Claws come out of the portal and strike Wintier for 13 damage, dragging him closer. Wintier down to 7 hit points.
Come on, Portal. I'm trying to walk away from you. You are not helping.
Sorrow can hear the whispers now calling her name, and she feels compelled to walk toward it. 5 squares. An arrow comes screaming for Sorrow from the west, and strikes her in the shoulder for 5 damage, slowing her. Autumn down to 10 hit points. The skeleton that Wintier just killed pegs him with another arrow, taking Wintier down to 2 hit points, 5 damage, through the kneecap, slowing him.
But that kneecap slow is going to be gone after the skeleton's next turn.
Winter's pretty tough.
Yeah, what are you saying? Winter's a pussy? Huh?
Well, I'm just going with what YouTube says, you know.
The dwarf calls out to Kalarel from across the room. "We were never with ya, Kalarel. We don't worship Orcus." Kalarel calls back, "I find your lack of faith disturbing." The dwarf then moves closer to Wintier and calls out, "May the gods heal you." And bright light from above shines down upon Wintier.
Ah, thanks, buddy.
Wintier can spend a healing surge and regain an additional 1d6 hit points.
Winter says, "Well, the gods don't like me that much." And heals for 2 hit points.
Alright, Wintier back up to 11 out of 30. The dwarf then repeats what he did last time to the white, once again painting the target. The white claws at Morgan, but its claws get stuck in her dwarven scale mail, and he is dazed. He has fumbled. Sorrow is up.
Sorrow moves away from the portal into the pool of blood, and she's going to cast a Scorching Burst centered on the skeleton next to the white. I get combat advantage against the white.
Yes.
That's gonna be my attack number 2. 8 versus reflex and 12 versus reflex.
Miss.
And I'm gonna spend an action point, and I'm gonna use my second win.
By spending an action point, you regain 6 hit points from my inspiring presence.
Sorrow
And
back
going
up to
to
26 out of 33. Kalarel calls out to the tiefling. "Sorrow, you have been at my side all this time. Don't make me destroy you."
She replies back, "Well, you're gonna have to do it one way or another. Either the portal's gonna take me, or you will."
Kalarel sends another shadowy bolt at Coltane, who again shakes it off. And the imp once again fails to ensorcel Coltane. But as Coltane is shaking off the effects of the shadowy bolt, he's struck in the flank by an arrow for 5 damage, slowed. Coltane down to 35. Wintier, 11 out of 30, still within the range of the portal.
Winter moves over 2. Nick is smarter than I am. Well, he moves the 2 in the direction of the white, away from the portal, and uses a nimble strike to get an extra move. So he shifts over 1 more and attacks the skeleton in front of him, because I believe he's still got cover in front of the white. But it's a critical miss.
Coltane draws his bowstring but drops the arrow. Wintier.
I was about to say, who?
So Coltane can apply the dazed effect, right?
Winter's like, "Hey Coltane, this is how you would shoot an arrow." Derp. Wintier is so confident in the outcome of this battle that he feels he can goof around a bit. Coltane dodges another arrow. Coltane is up.
Coltane steps up onto the stairs and uses a Viper Strike, slashing down at the skeleton below him. It's 19 for 6 damage.
Bearing his shield, Coltane bashes the skeleton against the pillar, crushing it to dust.
Why would he crush the pillar to dust? Wasn't he attacking the skeleton?
This time Morgan successfully bashes the white with her maul. Sorrow hears the whispers again, but this time shakes them off. Sorrow knows that the ritual that has been used to open this portal can be reversed. But she knows that neither the portal nor the thing inside it can be damaged in any way. And from her discussions with Kalarel, she knows that this portal leads to a place of unspeakable evil in the Shadowfell, and that any living creature that passes through the portal dies instantly. At least that's what Kalarel has told her, so odds are this thing grants you godlike powers if you go through it.
Wait, what? How does it grant you godlike powers if it kills you?
Because
He was
Kalarel is
joking.
an idiot, so he's probably wrong.
Okay.
I thought you were being sarcastic.
No, I'm just really tired.
No, I thought CJ was being sarcastic.
I was,
CJ's
yes.
just really tired.
Or was I?
If it's a place of unspeakable evil, would us speaking of the evil cause it to cease to exist?
One way to find out. Alright, a skeleton...
Winter starts mumbling, evil, evil, evil.
Evil behind the portal.
A skeleton advances on Coltane with a sword, but Coltane parries. A second skeleton advances on Coltane, forming a partial wall between Coltane and Kalarel, and he misses completely. A skeleton switches to his sword, dropping his bow to the ground, and advances on Wintier.
Of course he does. 'Cause I'm foxy.
But Wintier still manages to dodge. The dwarf mutters a prayer, and sacred light shines from above, searing the skeleton that advanced on Wintier, destroying it.
Thanks, dwarf.
And Wintier feels himself bolstered. He gains temporary hit points equal to
His
3.
dexterity equal to 3.
3 temporary hit points Wintier gains. The dwarf then once again calls out a healing prayer to Wintier.
You rolled a 1 on the 1d6.
So I heal for 8 hit points.
Wintier up to 19 out of 30 with 3 temporary hit points at the end of round 3. Round 4. Where are we? We have 1, 2, 3 skeletons down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skeletons standing, the white standing, but none of the good guys are bloodied. The white claws at Morgan. She lets out a soft cry. Sorrow.
Sorrow attempts to close the rift. It's an Arcana check, I believe.
She can make an Arcana check, yes?
She gets 25.
Alright, this is a free action. Sorrow calls upon her knowledge of magical effects and rituals, and determines the first step in reversing the effects of Kalarel's ritual.
All
And
these
she performs
procedures.
it. She has performed the first step to closing the ritual. Well, the dude's been opening this ritual for like, I don't know, days, weeks. It's not going to be closed in 6 seconds.
Okay. Do I have to? It's I guess a once per round type of thing.
What do you mean?
Like I can only make this. I can only attempt to close it once per round, or can I just spend all my
yes,
actions?
that's correct.
Okay. Do I have to be a certain proximity of the portal, or?
No.
Okay, cool. I will move. Actually, I'm gonna run.
Wait, show me where you're running. Okay, you're running through the blood. Make a DC 15 acrobatics check or fall prone in the first square of blood entered.
Acrobatics or athletics?
Acrobatics.
5.
Sorrow immediately slips and falls into the pool of blood, now completely stained crimson.
It's okay, you couldn't tell the difference anyway.
That doesn't end your turn, by the way.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
That was your first action, right?
Yep.
So that's one move action used?
I can't do 2 moves in a standard, right?
No.
No.
Not without an action point.
I'm gonna attack from prone to the skeleton to the south, taking a -2 to attack. 12 versus reflex.
Sorrow misses. In anger, Kalarel raises his rod to cast the spell on Coltane again, but strikes himself in the head with it. And the imp's spell finally succeeds as Coltane takes 5 psychic damage and is dazed. Save ends. Coltane down to 30 hit points. Coltane charging up the steps, trying to get to Kalarel, is pegged in the back by an arrow, 5 damage, slowed. Coltane down to 25 out of 45. And he's struck by a second arrow, again from the back, this time from this skeleton, another 5 damage, and slowed. Coltane down to 20. Wintier.
Yo! So Winter performs a nimble strike, stepping away from the skeleton first, and then attacking the white. And missing the white, with a total attack roll of 12. And then he moves along the steps, past the white, behind Morgan, out and away from the skeleton.
Alright, I was watching the path. That provokes an opportunity attack from the skeleton.
Ah, what?
Wintier slashed for 5 damage. He loses his 3 temporary hit points and is down to 17 out of 30.
Okay. Because I was like, oh, I should do it this way so I don't get in the opportunity attack. And I was like, oh no, I wasn't really paying attention, was I?
Coltane, 20 out of 45. 2 skeletons and melee before him. Skeletons firing at him from behind. Kalarel and the imp at the top of the steps casting spells on him.
Coltane goes into... No. Yes, Coltane goes into total defense by using second wind, and then attempts to shake off his dazed condition.
Coltane back up to 31 out of 45.
And with a 17, he succeeds.
Morgan raises her maul high in the air. Looks like she's about to say something, but doesn't. Before bringing it down, the white dodges just as the maul comes crashing down, smashing the stone floor. There's a flash of brilliant light, and Wintier feels himself healed. He can spend a healing surge. Wintier back
7 hit
up to
points.
24 out of 30. Sorrow hears the whispers, but ignores them. Coltane parries a sword, but as he parries one, he's struck by the other. 5 damage, down to 26 out of 45. Skeleton advances on the dwarf and slashes into him. The dwarf backs away, disengaging from melee,